describe your feeling when handing over the manuscript to a body of English students? Were you confident, apprehensive?
It's really apprehensive. It makes you very apprehensive when you hand over your creation to a group of strangers. I might liken it to a woman handing over her newborn to a group of strangers. You just don't know.
Were there times when you disagreed with the editing and publishing process? Did you feel that you needed to intervene?
There were a few times. One time was with the poem Novices, and that poem is in the collection. The students wanted to cut that poem. And the poem uses the imagery of the white veils that filled the front of convent chapels every year. The novices were the new life, the new members. And they assured the old sisters that the work would continue. In this poem, I describe how the white veils, over a period of years, disappeared from the convent chapels. And the students didn't really understand that that poem is key to this collection. However I talk to them, they are so collaborative, they are so bright and creative that they said, oh yes, of course that will be included. But there's another story, there's a poem, An Apple in Her Hand, which is in this book. I love that poem. And I had written the poem and handed it to the students. And they said, Mary Ann, we made some changes. What? So I read the poem, and what they had done is they had just changed the order of the stanzas. And I read it at first, I thought, oh, what have they done with my poem? But then I had a glass of wine, I sat down, calmed down, and I read the poem again, and I thought, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. They've transformed this poem, and thank you very much.
Oh, I'm glad. In light of the success of the red dress, do you feel any pressure that Brides in Black has to be even better than your previous collection?
I think it has to be at least equal to it, and I would prefer that it would be better. I think that what has happened with this manuscript, and with the red dress I didn't have the opportunity to work with such brilliant young people. With this, I've had the opportunity, and I really think that this is equal to or better than the red dress. Probably not.
I agree, and the audience, you will agree too. And for your next work, would you use Marty's practicum again?
I would be honored. I think that any writer would be. It's such a privilege. For me, I'm not 25 anymore, unfortunately, and to work with such a dynamic, inspiring group of young people, and just to feel that energy, and I do, I feel that energy, and I have felt it all along. It's an honor, and it's a privilege, and I hope that this program continues and blossoms, and that other writers also have this privilege.
Thank you, Mary Ann. It's been such a pleasure.
Make all the decisions. What a great turnout. What a great crowd, and what a great night. Just before this evening started, I was talking to Terry Ann Carter about this turnout, and she said she couldn't believe the number of people who come to a poetry reading. And she said in Ottawa, where she lives, if 25 or 30 people turn out to a reading, it was a success. So thank you all for coming out tonight and showing her what a success is in Windsor. This is the work of the students. When they came into my class in September, they were a little wide-eyed and innocent, and up till then, their biggest challenge for them in writing was to write a lengthy essay. But I had a bigger challenge. I was asking them to edit, shape 2 manuscripts, and then design and lay out these books and get them ready for publication. And I told them this would be a different experience. And if they stuck with it till April and believed in the process, they would reap those benefits. They would know that what they were doing was very special. Something that isn't happening on any campus anywhere in Canada. This is the only program in the country like this. There are editing and publishing programs at Humber and Centennial and Simon Fraser on the West Coast, but ours is the only one where the students actually work side by side with authors and then wind up publishing them. It's the only program. And thanks to the English department at the University of Windsor and the collaboration with Black Moss Press, this is what has happened. And these students really, in effect, are part of an internship working with Black Moss. They learn to lay out and design these books. They learn how to make videos. They do QR codes on the backs of these books. They learn how to put together a press kit. It's a very diverse group, by the way. One student among this team, she's studying English, but she's also, her other major is biology. Another one is studying English and history. Some of these students work at Tim Hortons. Even one of them tonight works at the Caboto Club, and she helped put this together. Some are doing creative writing. Some are working with foundations of academic writing, marking grammar papers. We can certainly use those students. We also have a hockey player, one of our MCs, Kristen Bartolotti. She plays on the women's Lancers hockey team, and she's just as much a winner on the ice as she is in the classroom. And of course, there's Emily Abbott, who was just up here, and she just completed her second national championship with the women's Lancers basketball team. I had the entire basketball team turn out to the Black Moss night last fall. It was such an honor to be associated with them. In addition to the students, these students, we have two students who are part of the editorial team watching and from the sidelines. They are the graduate students. Jordan Turner is a novelist, and he's ready to defend his thesis I think next month. And he quickly learned how to direct films. I told him that was your job. He said, I don't know anything about it. Well, you're going to learn. Also helping out is Kate Hargreaves, one of our graduate assistants. And her other name, by the way, she has another name called Pain Air. She doubles as a roller derby player, where she's bashing and smashing limbs of other women. And she was in charge of the layout and design team, and she's done some amazing work there, so I really want to congratulate her and Jordan. All of which tells me these students are doers. If you want someone to get the job done, ask anyone on this team. These students are committed, they're dedicated, they're focused, they're intuitive, and they're disciplined. And that's what they learn in the classroom. I told them it was a lot of work, and believe me, they have worked their fannies off to get these books edited, designed, and laid out and delivered. And they put on this event. I walk into the classroom and I don't in any way micromanage anything. I put out the challenge and they take up the challenge. They organized tonight, they made it happen, and this is as much their night as it is for these authors. So a big thank you. And a big thank you to Marianne Mulhern and Terry-Ann Carter for working with these students and being so patient and guiding them, and thank you for your fortitude in dealing with their editing concerns. So, let me just finish by I'd like to introduce these students, these amazing editors and designers. And I told them right from the very beginning, I said, you may consider yourself University of Windsor students, but to me, you're part of an editorial team. And their names will be, if you look in these books, you'll see their names. Their names are mentioned as an editorial team working for Black Moss. So let me introduce them, and I would like each one of them to stand up when I call your name. Emily Abbott. Amanda Spence. Amelia Roy Weber. Ashley Gibb. Sarah Benoit, Beth Harrick, Celia Sargenti, Christina Spanjo, Emily Butra, Sylvia Pham, Jacqueline Wood, Jacqueline Popowich, Jason Bartolotti, Jessica Knapp, Christina Story, Kristen Bartolotti, Larissa Brooks, Nicole LeClaire, Rebecca Taylor, Craig Visser, Samantha Alfini, Sarah Farmakin, Desiree Ahmad, Victoria Delia, and Victoria Faraci. Please stand and give these students a show of appreciation. Thank you again for coming out tonight.
Thank you so much for everything this year. It's been an incredible experience for all of us. And at this time, we would like to present you with a little gift we made today for you because we had to wait until the class picture was taken. Here's a picture frame of us from this morning, and it's all signed by all of us. Marty almost stole my thank yous to some pretty special people today, but I think Marty has a lot to thank them about, and the class has a lot to thank them about. Jordan Turner and Kate Hargreaves, the graduate assistants for us this year. We needed them every step of the way. They were keeping us in line. Marty didn't micromanage. They didn't micromanage, but we were kind of like, oh, are we doing it? And they're like, I don't know, find out. But they helped us so much, and we are so grateful for all of your work. Thank you.
And also, Kate was constantly trying to recruit people for her roller derby team. Oh, I could beat up on some girls, yeah? All right, for our closing remarks, this class and the opportunity it presents for students would not be possible without the trust these authors put in Marty and us. It must have been nerve-wracking, as we have found out, handing over a precious manuscript, a baby, as it were, to amateur editors. But Marianne and Terry Ann were open to our comments and criticism on helping us along in this arduous process. They are strong, creative women and a testament to the writing profession. The Publishing Practicum class of 2011-2012 would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We would also like to thank Helen Durgenti, who worked tirelessly on the cover art for Brides in Black, and Jacob Higson, who created interior artwork for Brides in Black. We thank you as well so much. For Terry Ann Carter and Mary Ann Mulhern, we have some lovely pens and books for you both. Thank you.
I'd like to give you a string of thank yous, so please be patient. I'm going to read them because there are a lot. Everybody was so gracious to help us. On behalf of the students at the Editing and Publishing Practicum, I'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight. Dr. Francine Slosher, Dr. Catherine Quincy, Roger Ryan, and Dr. Alan Wildeman. And a special thanks again to Marty Durbin. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm sure we're all tired of clapping, so let's have fun.